Imagine waking up in a room that doesn't exist in this world. The walls are humming with a frequency you don't recognize, but your soul does. You're not dreaming, you're being remembered. A glowing glyph pulses above your heart, and you're told, "No, you remember, you are a timekeeper." One of the few who can bend vibration across timelines. The moment has arrived for you to fulfill what was encoded in your soul before you were even born. You're not here for coincidence. You're here for convergence. Over the next few minutes, you and I are going to journey through something most people will never experience, the blueprint behind how Timekeeper Chosen Ones shift realities, entire lifelines, by mastering the vibration of now. If that sounds impossible, that's because the world trained you to forget. But I'm not here for the ordinary. You aren't either. You've always felt out of sync, not because you're broken, but because you're calibrated to a deeper rhythm. One that doesn't play by linear time. One that echoes from your ancestors, your future selves, and the quantum field all at once. As a timekeeper, your power is not in controlling time, it's in harmonizing with it. And when you align with the vibration of the timeline you desire, time itself bends to meet you. That is not fantasy, that is principle. The first way a Timekeeper Chosen One shifts vibration is by mastering emotional anchors. Emotions are not just feelings, they are frequencies that lock you into timelines. Every timeline of your life, one where you succeed, one where you fall, one where you awaken, already exists. But your emotional state is the remote control. When you live in guilt, you anchor to a timeline of punishment. When you live in gratitude, you anchor to a timeline of abundance. So the work begins not with chasing the future, but with healing the emotions that bind you to the past. Ask yourself this: which emotion have you been loyal to that no longer serves your evolution?
Click subscribe to this channel to get more profound insights.
You cannot shift timelines while clinging to victimhood. Timekeepers are not passive. Timekeepers are architects. We don't wait for circumstances to change. We change frequency and watch reality shift in response. Think about it. When you suddenly decide with full conviction, "I deserve more," the world doesn't just hear you, it recalibrates around you. Doors open. People exit. Synchronicities flood in. That's not magic. That's vibrational mathematics. You emitted a new frequency, and your external life modeled itself to match. So the question becomes, what timeline are your current emotions broadcasting to the quantum field? The second way we shift vibration is by collapsing identity constructs. Every identity you wear, success, failure, introvert, empath, survivor, is a frequency loop. It's encoded with beliefs, behaviors, even body language. And every identity is tied to a specific timeline. If you want to shift timelines, you must be willing to shed who you think you are. That means dissolving the egoic narrative that tells you, "I am this because of what happened to me." No, you are not what happened. You are what you choose to become in response to it. If you truly want to jump timelines, you must stop rehearsing your limitations and start rehearsing your expansion. What I'm saying here is not metaphor, it's physics. Your subconscious identity is a vibrational magnet. If you see yourself as broken, you will constantly attract people, jobs, and situations that reflect that belief. But if you shift your self-image to one of divine wholeness, the universe must recalibrate to that truth. So how do we do it? Through repetition, through embodiment, through choosing again and again the version of you that already lives on the timeline you desire. Speak like them, walk like them, think like them, become them before the world reflects it back. That's not delusion. That's quantum alignment. The third way Timekeeper Chosen Ones shift vibration is through sacred rhythm disruptions. Time, in this dimension, appears linear because of patterns. Wake up at the same time. Think the same thoughts, feel the same way, eat the same food. Repeat. That's how timelines become loops, cycles that trap your energy in predictable outcomes. But when you disrupt your rhythm, when you break your habits with intention, you create gaps in the matrix. And in those gaps, light enters, possibility enters, and new timelines become accessible. Ever wonder why traveling, fasting, or even heartbreak suddenly gives you clarity? It's not random. It's a pattern break. It's a vibrational rupture that allows you to leap into a higher or alternate timeline. We, as timekeepers, use disruption intentionally. We fast not just for the body, but for the soul. We shift our routines to confuse the matrix. We wake up at odd hours, meditate in silence, take cold plunges, chant ancient names, not because we're bored, but because we're aligning with timelines outside the loop of mass consciousness. The moment you begin to live differently, reality begins to respond differently. And let's be clear, this is not about escapism. It's about elevation. You are not here to run from this world. You are here to reprogram it. And that begins inside. Your habits, your thoughts, your language. Every time you say, "I always attract chaos," you are anchoring to a chaotic timeline. Shift it. Start saying, "I walk in harmony. I am aligned with divine order. My reality reflects my inner peace." These are not affirmations, they are commands. Spoken by a timekeeper, received by the field, reflected in the timeline. The fourth way we shift vibration is through ancestral and multidimensional integration. You are not just one being. You are a nexus of lives, lineages, and light forms. Your DNA carries the codes of your ancestors. Your soul carries the echoes of your past and parallel selves, and your energy body is a bridge across realms. When you do deep healing work, shadow work, ancestral clearing, inner child integration, you are not just helping yourself. You are adjusting the signal across timelines. You are liberating entire bloodlines and anchoring new futures simultaneously. Have you ever cried during a meditation and didn't know where the emotion came from? That's timeline bleed. That's your soul releasing frequencies that have been stored for lifetimes. And when you release those, you instantly shift. You start walking differently, speaking differently, manifesting differently. That's because you're no longer vibrating from the trauma of 1,000 timelines. You're vibrating from the clarity of your divine center. And from there, timelines open like petals. But this requires courage to face not just your pain, but the pain of those who came before you. To reclaim not just your power, but the power your lineage was denied. To remember not just who you are, but who you've been. Timekeeper work is not light work. It is deep, alchemical, and often lonely. But it is necessary, Because when you integrate fully, you stop leaking energy. And when your energy is whole, your vibration becomes unstoppable. And now the fifth way, harmonic vision anchoring. This is where we move from vibration to embodiment. You must become the living vision of the timeline you seek. Not tomorrow, not when it's convenient. Now, every timeline is a frequency. And every frequency has a signature, thoughts, emotions, decisions, behaviors. When you visualize a future and anchor that vision into your nervous system, you start vibrating as if it's already real. That's when the shift begins. But here's the secret. Don't just visualize outcomes. Visualize sensations. What does peace feel like in your chest? What does clarity feel like in your skull? What does divine wealth feel like in your fingertips? Anchor those sensations. Practice them. Memorize them. Because the universe doesn't respond to your wishes, it responds to your state. Become the vibration of the timeline before the timeline arrives, and it has no choice but to meet you. You must also take aligned action. Timekeepers are not passive dreamers. We are quantum initiators. We move in faith. We speak with authority. We act with clarity, even when we're terrified. Because we understand this law, the timeline only opens after the action, not before. That's the test. That's the leap. You don't wait for the door, you become the key. So I ask you now, what timeline are you ready to leave behind? What timeline are you choosing to step into? And are you willing to pay the price of transformation, shedding the old stories, the old emotions, the old identities, to claim it? When we step into the awareness that we are timekeepers, everything changes. We stop reacting to life and begin orchestrating it. We stop asking, why is this happening to me? And begin asking, which version of me is this happening for? That shift in language is not semantics, it's the key to reality transmutation. You must understand that vibration is not just something you generate, it's something you become. A timekeeper doesn't just focus on thinking differently. We embody a different frequency from the inside out, moment to moment, breath to breath. And through that embodiment, we begin to shift the entire architecture of time around us. Let's go even deeper into emotional anchoring, the first way we shift timelines. You see, most people live in emotional loops. They wake up with anxiety. They brace themselves for conflict. They replay arguments in their minds. And without realizing it, they are re-entering the same timeline every single day. That's not fate, that's frequency. But when we as timekeepers become aware of these loops, we interrupt them. We choose a new emotional baseline. We pause, we breathe, we say, no, today I choose presence. I choose power. I choose peace. That moment of choice is a gateway, or a portal opens. And if we hold that new emotion long enough, we step through. Here's a practice. When you feel triggered, don't ask, why am I feeling this? Ask, which timeline is this emotion anchoring me to? That question alone will snap you out of autopilot and into conscious creation. Instead of spiraling, you'll start recalibrating. You'll start seeing your emotions not as enemies, but as messengers. They're telling you something. This vibration leads here. Is that where you want to go? And if the answer is no, then you shift. You breathe. You move your body. You speak a new truth. you choose again. That's what makes us different. That's what makes us timekeepers. Now, about collapsing identity constructs. This is one of the most sacred and terrifying aspects of shifting timelines, because to truly evolve, we must let go of the very stories that made us feel safe. Your pain might have protected you. Your trauma might have shaped your strength. But if you continue to wear those as badges, you'll never shift. Because every identity is built on a frequency, and every frequency is tied to a timeline. If you want to experience a version of yourself that is free, you must be willing to die to the version of you that was surviving. Ask yourself, who would I be without my pain? Who would I be without the labels I've clung to? That's where true power begins, not in acquiring more, but in releasing what isn't real. When we collapse identity, we return to essence. And essence is pure vibration. Essence doesn't need to prove itself, defend itself, or explain itself. It just is. And from that place, you can step into any timeline because you are no longer bound by the stories of the past. You are fluid. You are limitless. You are free. That's why embodiment is so crucial. You don't become a new version of yourself by waiting for evidence. You become it by acting from it. Speak differently. Dress differently. Move differently. Make decisions as if you're already living in the timeline you desire. Because when you do, the quantum field begins to respond. It doesn't care about your past. It cares about your signal. And when your signal is clear, coherent, and committed, the shift happens. Reality bends. People change. Opportunities emerge. That's not coincidence. That's vibration. Let's return to sacred rhythm disruptions. This is where we get practical. You want to shift timelines? Break your rhythm. Change your morning. Wake up earlier. Meditate before your phone. Take a different route to work. Eat something new. Speak in a tone you've never used before. These are not random acts. They are vibrational fractures in the matrix of your current timeline. When you disrupt your rhythm, you destabilize the timeline you've been looping in. And in that instability, you create space for something new to emerge. That's why spiritual practices matter. They're not about religion, they're about rhythm. They are the instruments through which we play new frequencies into existence. Here's a truth most won't tell you. Timelines are not changed by knowledge. They are changed by movement. You can read all the books, watch all the videos, and still be stuck. Because the shift isn't mental, it's embodied. You must move differently, speak differently, think differently. That's how you tell the universe, I'm ready. And the universe listens. But only when your vibration is louder than your intentions. Your energy must walk before your words do. In the realm of ancestral and multidimensional integration, we begin to access deeper layers of our being. You are not just your name, your body, or your lifetime. You are a vessel of multidimensional intelligence. You carry codes from your ancestors, from parallel versions of yourself, and from lifetimes you've forgotten. And when you begin to do the work, healing generational trauma, honoring forgotten ancestors, reclaiming lost parts of your soul, you do more than heal. You amplify. You increase your vibrational bandwidth. And with more bandwidth, you can access higher timelines. This is why ancestral healing is not optional for timekeepers. Your lineage holds keys. Your blood is sacred. Your pain has a purpose. When you heal a pattern in your family, poverty, silence, abandonment, you are not just shifting your life. You are shifting the vibration of every timeline that intersects with that wound. You are becoming a living node of transformation, or a vibrational tuning fork for your entire lineage. That's what it means to be chosen. That's what it means to be a timekeeper. And this integration doesn't stop at blood. It extends to your soul lineage. You may feel connected to star systems, ancient civilizations, or spiritual traditions you've never studied. That's not fantasy. That's memory. That's vibration. And when you honor those connections through ritual, through meditation, through reverence, you activate dormant frequencies. You awaken timelines where you were a healer, a warrior, a mystic, a guardian. And those timelines begin to bleed into this one, offering you gifts, guidance, and power. But only if you choose to open the door. Finally, let's deepen harmonic vision anchoring. This is where the future meets the now. Most people visualize what they want and then return to the vibration of lack. That's not timekeeping, that's time leaking. A true timekeeper doesn't just see the future. We feel it, we embody it, we breathe it, we live it now. That's the real secret. The timeline you want already exists, but you'll never enter it by wishing. You'll only enter it by matching. So here's the practice. Close your eyes. See the future you. The one who has already healed, already manifested, already become. Notice how they walk, how they speak, what they no longer tolerate, what they now attract. And then ask yourself, can I be that today? Not all at once, but in breath, in thought, in action. Because the moment you begin to act like the timeline is real, it starts to become real. Reality doesn't need time, it needs coherence. You are not here to wait for your dream life. You are here to transmit it into being. You are not here to escape this world. You are here to recode it. With love, with frequency, with intention. That is your mission. That is your gift. That is your responsibility. And when you accept that fully, timelines don't just shift, they obey. So I ask you again, what frequency are you broadcasting? What timeline are you loyal to? And what are you willing to release right now to step into the timeline that's been waiting for you all along? We are not done. The final revelation is coming. This is the moment where everything converges. If you've made it this far, it's because something ancient in you has awakened. You're not just watching a video, you're undergoing activation. You're not just learning about shifting timelines, you're remembering your role in the architecture of reality itself. And if you feel that pressure in your chest, that pull behind your eyes, that electricity in your spine, it's because your vibration is already accelerating. You are not becoming a timekeeper. You are one. You always were. You're just now ready to claim that identity fully and live from it, not as an idea, but as a walking force of transformation across dimensions. You may be wondering, how do I maintain this shift? Because here's the truth that most won't tell you. Shifting timelines is not a one-time decision. It's a lifestyle. It's a daily commitment to embody a vibration that overrides the gravitational pull of the past. Every morning when you wake up, you're standing at a crossroads of infinite possibilities. Will you choose the vibration of your old story, or will you align with the frequency of your highest self? That choice is where the real work begins. Because timelines don't respond to what you wish for. They respond to what you are. Let's revisit emotional anchoring, because this is the foundation. You must become a master of your state, not a slave to your triggers, not a reactor to your circumstances. You must learn to generate emotion from within. That means if you want to live in a timeline of abundance, you must feel abundance before the money comes. If you want to live in a timeline of love, you must radiate love even when you're alone. If you want to live in a timeline of divine purpose, you must speak and move with mission, even if no one's watching. That's how you tell the grid, "This is my new home," and the grid listens. But let's be honest, this takes discipline. It takes awareness. It takes a sacred refusal to betray your new vibration just because your old life is calling you back. You will be tested. People will trigger you. Fears will rise. Doubts will whisper. And in those moments, you must pause and ask, which timeline does this emotion lead me to? If it's not aligned with your new reality, breathe it out. Shake it off. Speak a new truth. Redirect your energy. That's how you shift, not once, but constantly. That's how you stabilize in a higher timeline. Now let's go even deeper into collapsing identity. Because most people try to shift timelines while still being loyal to their trauma identity. You can't do that. You can't become a powerful healer while clinging to the identity of the wounded one. You can't embody your divine wealth while speaking the language of lack. You can't step into soul-aligned love while still believing you are unworthy. Every identity is a timeline, and if you want to live in a new reality, you must become a new version of you. Not in theory, in action, in thought, or in speech, in vibration. So ask yourself, who am I when no one's watching? Who am I when I'm not trying to impress, please, or protect? That version of you, the raw, honest, unedited self, that's the one who can shift timelines. Because they are operating from essence, not ego, from soul, not performance. And essence is always aligned with truth. When your vibration reflects truth, the universe has no choice but to echo it back. Let's take this to the sacred rhythm disruptions. You've heard this before, but most don't apply it. If you want change, you must interrupt the cycle. That means no more living on autopilot. No more waking up and reaching for your phone before you connect to your soul. No more repeating old conversations in your head like a broken record. No more doing the same thing and expecting a new outcome. Timekeepers don't wait for miracles. We become them. Through conscious disruption, through radical presence, through intentional change. Try this tomorrow. Wake up an hour earlier than usual. Light a candle. Sit in silence. Ask your soul, show me the vibration of the timeline I'm stepping into. And then listen. Don't analyze. Don't control. Just receive. You'll feel it. Maybe it's a word. Maybe it's a sensation. Maybe it's a vision. Whatever it is, honor it. Make that your guiding frequency for the day. Walk with it. Speak from it. Move from it. That's how we shift, not through force, through frequency. Now let's return to ancestral and multidimensional integration. This is the secret behind why some shifts are instant and others are delayed. Because sometimes the vibration you're trying to hold is being blocked by karmic residue, unresolved pain from your lineage or your past lifetimes. Timekeepers don't just do shadow work. We do timeline excavation. We go into our lineages. We heal what was silenced. We forgive what was passed down. We reclaim what was stolen. Because when we do that, we free not just ourselves, but generations. We clear the static in our signal. We make space for higher frequencies to land. Have you ever had a moment where your body reacted before your mind could catch up, like tears rising unexpectedly, or a deep knowing that wasn't logical? That's multidimensional integration. That's your soul speaking through the layers. Don't dismiss those moments. They are timeline markers. They are clues that you're collapsing density and stepping into light. You'll learn to trust your body. Learn to decode its language. Your body is not separate from your soul. It is the vessel through which your vibration is made visible. And now we arrive at the core of harmonic vision anchoring. This is the art of embodiment. You've visualized the future. You felt the vibration. Now it's time to become the future. Not pretend, not perform, become. That means every choice you make must align with the timeline you've claimed. What you eat, what you say, who you spend time with, what content you consume, what thoughts you allow. These are all votes. Every vote either stabilizes your current reality or shifts you to another. Let me ask you something radical. If you knew your highest timeline was guaranteed, how would you live today? Would you still hesitate? Would you still betray your intuition just to fit in? Would you still water down your truth to be accepted? Or would you rise? Would you speak boldly? Would you walk like your ancestors are watching and your future self is cheering you on? Because they are. You're not alone in this. You are a convergence point of timelines, dimensions, and destinies. Every choice you make echoes beyond you. So this is your invitation, not just to shift, but to stay, to hold the vibration, to embody the timeline, to become the version of you that already exists in the realm of the miraculous. And when you do that, the miraculous becomes normal. Synchronicity becomes your language. Flow becomes your lifestyle. And the quantum field bends to your frequency. You are here to bend time. You are here to close loops. You are here to unlock destinies, not just for yourself, but for all those connected to your light. This is not theory. This is not inspiration. This is a mission. You are a timekeeper, and the time to remember is not someday. The time is now. So the final question I leave you with is this: are you ready to live as if your vibration creates worlds? Because it does. And now you know how to wield it.